For the first time, a new poll is showing that Bernie Sanders has surged past Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. So this is from Franklin Pierce University and the Boston Herald. Now, here's a cover of the headlines for that. How awesome is that? So according to this new poll, Bernie Sanders is now 7 points ahead of Hillary. He's sitting at 44 points, while Hillary is now at 37 points. Now, the sample size is 442 people. It seems really small, but that's actually higher than a lot of other polls that have been conducted in New Hampshire. So the margin of error is 4.7%, which is great. As long as it's under 5%, preferably not more than 10%, then it's pretty accurate and typically representative of the general population. Now, when you contrast this with March, Hillary was polling at 44 points then, while Bernie was only at 8 points. Now, this is from the same company, so he's made tremendous gains. Now, he's also drawn insane crowds, if you guys have been paying attention. He drew a crowd of 15,000 in Washington. He drew a crowd, his biggest yet, of 28,000 in Portland, Oregon, and he drew another crowd the next day of 27,500 in Los Angeles. So his campaign is picking up tremendous momentum. Now, I'm going to read some comments from political pundits. Now, I want you to think about them, and I'll give you some insight on them. So, first and foremost, from William Crystal says, quote, "He is not going to beat Hillary Clinton in a single Democratic primary. I'll predict that right now." From Joe Scarborough, "His shot at the top will be short-lived. Hillary Inc. will grind up and spit out any Democratic challenger that gets in its way." From Rush Limbaugh, "He has shown he cannot get the votes Democrats need to win. Blue-collar, working-class people. He can get effete snobs. He can get wealthy academics. He can get the young, and he can get the black vote, but Democrats do not win with that. He will lose big." Now, these quotes weren't about Bernie Sanders. They were about Barack Obama in 2007 and 2008. But as you all remember correctly, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was Barack Obama who went on to beat Hillary Clinton and become the president of the U.S., not just in 2008, but in 2012 as well, when he was reelected. So I really want an apology from all the political pundits who did the same thing to Bernie Sanders. When he first started running, Katie Couric was asking him, well, would you be Hillary Clinton's vice president? And Bernie's response was, would she be my vice president? Look, we're seeing the same thing over and over again. In a lot of instances, Bernie Sanders is drawing larger crowds than Barack Obama did in 2007. So this is getting really interesting. Now, here's the deal. We all need to not become complacent because it's not over yet, okay? Polls more generally are not very reliable, so we have to really look more at the aggregate polling data in order to see what all of them say, because they're a lot more reliable at that level. But this doesn't necessarily mean that this poll is not accurate. It could be signaling a new trend, but we don't know for sure. So just to give you guys a little bit of a sobering look. But again, that doesn't mean that we can't celebrate, because this is huge. And I think that it's going to signal the start of a new trend, because all the polls have really been in line with each other. And a lot of them currently, besides this particular poll, they show that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are in a statistical tie. So again, I'm curious to know or to see when other polls are going to start showing him ahead of Hillary Clinton. But look, this is great news, and it's a sign that what he's doing is working, and he needs to keep it up.